Welcome to Theory of Music, Grade 1, Lesson 1 with Franz Devantier. I'm going to start off by giving you an overview of the guitar-oriented approach to theory of music that I will be using. Traditionally, we are taught how the notes on the piano keyboard map to the notes on the written score, which is good. But how does it work if you play the guitar, bass guitar or double bass? And what do these three instruments have in common in any case? The four low or bass strings of the guitar are tuned the same as the four strings of the bass guitar. The bass guitar is just one octave lower than the guitar. The double bass is tuned exactly the same as the bass guitar. It just does not have any frets. This means that once you have learned to play the guitar, the bass guitar and double bass will be easy to get used to. It works because they show you how the open strings on the guitar map to the notational music. Another approach is to memorize or learn the note names on each fret of the guitar. A very useful method for the guitar is to use tablature, tab or tabs, to map the strings of the guitar to conventional musical notation. Tablature uses one line for each string of the guitar, and the numbers represent which fret is to be used. Typically, as in the example below, the tab is written underneath the conventional music notation. We will cover all of these approaches and more. But first, let's get some theory of music basics in place. Let's start off with musical signs or notes. Now, musical notes are named in ascending order from A to G, the first 7 letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. When you get to G and you move up to the next note, then you get to an A again, which is then just one octave higher than the first A. Below, I have an example of music notation with the note names below them. For convenience, you would start with the notes in the middle of the piano keyboard, or middle C. On the guitar, you would choose a comfortable starting position, also a middle C, which is there on the 5th string, 3rd fret. From this position, all the musical signs or notes can be described on the instrument. If you were looking at a keyboard instrument, then you would have described all the white notes on the keyboard, but none of the in-between or black notes. I will discuss the black notes later on and describe to you how to use them. On the guitar, it is a bit different because there are no in-between notes. You will have to skip a fret in between notes. What is an octave? If you started playing the note A and then went up to B, C, D, E, F, G, and then started with the second note A again, then the second A would be an octave higher than the first A, but would still be an A. So it's still an A, but it's definitely not the same note. The notes are an octave apart. We could go another 7 notes up and then come to the next octave, and it would still be an A, but an octave higher still. or 2 octaves higher than the first note A. In the example below, I have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So it's an octave from C to C. In this way, we can go on until we get to the highest A on the keyboard, just by going up 7 notes each time, or the highest A on your guitar. The highest A on the guitar is on the first string at the 17th fret. The highest note on the guitar is the B on fret 19 on the first string. So now you know where to find the high A on the guitar, just 2 frets lower than the high B or highest note on the guitar. Now if you play the note A and you go 1 note lower this time, instead of higher, you go lower, which will be to the left on the keyboard and towards the nut or the tuning pegs on the guitar or double bass. You will get to a G, 1 note lower, and we get to an F. Lower, we get to an E, a D, a C, a B, and if we continue, we get to 1 note lower, which is the A, 1 octave lower. We can continue going to lower notes until we get to the next lower A, 1 octave lower or 2 octaves lower than the highest A on the guitar. We can continue going lower until you get to the lowest A on the keyboard or the lowest A on the guitar, which is 3 octaves lower than the highest A on the guitar. This A is on the 5th string or the 2nd thickest string on the guitar, and it is played open. Open, that is to say that no frets are held to create the note. If you were playing the bass guitar, it would also be the 2nd thickest string, but would in fact be the 3rd string because the bass guitar has 4 strings, because the 1st string on the bass guitar is 1 octave lower than the 3rd string on the guitar. They have the same note name and are played on the same position on the instrument. If you were playing the double bass, then it would also be the 2nd thickest string, the 2nd lowest string, or the 3rd string. You see how it all starts to fit together. In the same way, we find the octaves for A to A. You can also count 7 notes up from B, and you will get to the octave of B, 1 octave up or 1 octave down. C to C, D to D, E to E, F to F, G to G. The lowest note on the guitar is on the open 6th string. The highest note is B on the 19th fret on the 1st string. The 1st string is the thinnest nylon string at the bottom of the guitar, and the 6th string is the one closest to the top of the guitar and is also the thickest. The range of the guitar is just over 3.5 octaves. The 3 high strings are made out of nylon, and the 3 low strings are made out of nylon thread that is wound with very thin metal wire, and the metal wire is coated with a thin layer of silver. The 1st string is an E, the 2nd string is a B, the 3rd string is a G, the 4th string is a D, the 5th string is an A, and the 6th string is an E. Notice how the 6th and the 1st strings are both tuned to an E. However, they are 2 octaves apart. In other words, there are 2 octaves between the lowest open string on the guitar and the highest open string on the guitar. Below you see some detail on how to fasten the strings onto the guitar. Thank you for joining me for Grade 1, Lesson 1 of Theory of Music. In this lesson, we have covered the letter names of musical notes and the definition of an octave. These lessons were presented in the context of the guitar, as well as in the traditional keyboard context. In Lesson 2, we will explore musical pitch and how to define musical notes. See you in Lesson 2.